Hi, I'm LJ Tucker. Welcome back to 7,000 Volts. Today we'll be talking about business, trees, reality and actuality of both. And joining me today is my beautiful wife, Adele Tucker.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for joining me.
Let's talk about one of the cons of being a business owner, and one that when I was doing my research that came up is longer work hours. So can you talk about how that is a con as a business owner?
Absolutely. Work hours is like the main and key ingredient because you put a lot of sweat equity in. There's a lot of hours that you're not going to get paid for versus having a job and where you getting paid for the hours that you work. Well, the con in business, you're going to work a whole lot more hours and there's not a physical paid for it because you're not punching a time card to do it. And to me, the bigger con of all in business is the financial responsibility that's involved with it, especially in the tree business. I can't speak for any other business outside of being a motivational speaker and owning the tree business, because owning the tree business, the expenses is extremely high from the insurance. You know, I want to say if we're not we're over $100,000 a year just in insurance when you add up the liability, the workers' comp. What else do we have? Auto. You're required to carry so much coverage, like before we can even go out and make $1 or $2 or $500, whatever check is. You have this thing that they call insurance, which eats up a lot of money. To me, that's a con. I'm like, man, you think, oh, you get to make all this money? Yeah, we get to spend a lot of money as well too. And you know, trucks takes fuel. There's another $100,000 that you spend in fuel a year, and then you got to add in you know, we're not even covering payroll. You're not covering the other expense that goes along with it. So sometimes somebody on the outside looking in, you may say, oh, well, they gross $1 million this year, but you look at the expense of what it took to operate, it changes everything.
Okay, so for the longer work hours, how does that affect your family time, maybe vacation as a business owner?
Well, it affects the family time a little. I try not to miss important events that the kids have, whether it's gymnastics, baseball, basketball, soccer, piano lessons. You know, when you got 5 kids, there's a lot of different things that they do and that they're involved in. And so as a parent, you want to make sure that you meet those things. But the reality, you don't get to make it to a lot of some of the practices. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do that you want to do for the simplest things, especially when you're in the peak of doing what you do or you're in a busy season. So during the busy season, you're definitely not going to be taking vacations. You're definitely not going to be planning trips that other people might, oh, you should go to this family thing with us. And you already know, we ain't going to make it. It's not going to happen, because you understand the commitment that you have to your business and to your customer. And you're all in for that. So you understand the challenges that you face when it comes to taking care of your obligations so the business not only can survive, but it can thrive. And so that's the part of the sacrifice when it comes to those hours. You may get a call at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we have gotten those calls at the end of a work day, or as soon as you get out of the shower, you think, oh, okay, it's relaxation. I'm out.
Right. Today's Sunday.
Yeah.
What happened this morning?
Emergency tree job this morning. And luckily, it was small enough. I didn't have to call in the cavalry. I was able to go and take care of this problem by myself, just took the right pieces of equipment, and the customer was extremely happy. The tree didn't finish falling on their house. I was able to safely take it down and meet my obligations to be where I had to be at I was running a little bit behind this morning, but I still was able to be where I needed to be.
Right.
But those emergency things happen, and it's something real that you have to be accountable to. So I'm grateful that I have a support system. Do my wife and my family, they understand that I have to do what I do to make things happen on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Right. Yeah. Someone who has a 9 to 5, that's something that they don't necessarily have to deal with because they go to their job Monday through Friday, maybe on a Saturday or something. But once they clock out, they're done. They don't have to think about anything else outside of their family or whatever. So that is sacrifice. That is a con, I would say. I would agree that is a con, that there are longer work hours that you have to consider when you're a business owner. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pro side of that is because of the sacrifice and the longer hours that you have to put in and sacrifice to do, is I call it the long ball, the long game, is that you're able to build a business and you're able to make an impact in your community, and you're able to do things down the road financially that we probably wouldn't have been able to do. You're able to buy things, you're able to pay for things that it probably took you longer in the long run to take care of versus not being able to take care and do those particular things that you're able to do.
So another con that came up was stress, the stress of being a business owner. Can you speak on that?
I deal with stress different than the average person. I try to do things. I like my jazz music. I like to meditate. I like to feel like my back is like a duck's back, and stuff just it rubs off like a duck's back.
Water on a duck's back.
Yeah, that's it. You said it. The water on a duck's back. That's the saying. And with me, somebody said something to me the other day, and it was the second time they said it. They said, I got a sour taste in my mouth, and at that point, I was like, well, spit it out. I get something sour in my mouth, I'm going to spit it out. So I don't hold anything sour. I don't hold grudges. I have thick skin, but also I'm a realist. I don't let things fester. I approach it head on. And through my faith that I have in God, I just, I meditate and pray for that peace and that calmness so things don't stress me to the point where I need any type of medication or anything to deal with stress. I try to handle it head on so it doesn't become an issue. With scriptures that it says, do not let your heart be troubled. That's one of the commands in the Bible that I apply to my life. I think it's in Proverbs. I have to find that scripture. Don't let your heart be troubled because of evildoers and the pressures of these worlds and stuff. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's in that word. And that word is in my heart, so I try to apply it.
I handle stress differently, so I feel like I definitely stress more than you do. I don't know if it's a female thing, if it's a me thing, but there are stressors that come with being a business owner. You have equipment, you have bills, especially when you have employees, you're responsible for them. So where someone who goes to a job and all they have to do is focus on whatever task, whatever list of tasks that they're assigned to, and make sure that they do that. As a business owner, there's 100 times more tasks that come about. So when you're responsible for that, there's a pressure to make sure that you perform, that you keep things going, that you keep the wheel turning, that you keep the clients satisfied and happy. And so I guess it's good that we are a kind of yin and yang. You are the calm, and I can kind of try to remind you of things maybe that you should keep in mind, not stress about, but just keep in the forefront of your mind. So, yeah, I think that's a con in business.
Yeah, customers, I'm grateful and appreciative of all of our customers, but sometimes you'll get that customer, they're not used to having a tree cut out, and certain things may stress them out because they don't know. And so I have to make comments, say, listen, this is normal. Your grass just, you just took out a 15-ton tree, so it has to decompress with certain tracks, but you always try to make them comfortable and try to explain the entire process to them so they don't lose it, because some people are used to everything being a certain way, and they'll take that projection, and if you don't know how to handle it, they could stress you out by calling you 100 times. They're like, oh, what are we going to do? The sky is falling. What? And you have to remind them, hey, listen, it's a shock effect. You just, a tree that's probably been there for 10 or 15, 20 years that you're used to seeing, and you don't know what to do to replace that void in the yard. So everything in their mind is bad because of the shock effect. Sometimes you just got to take that journey with them and just reassure them that it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right, even though they might not see it at the time. Things happen with customers, things happen with the employees. A lot of stuff I don't even bring back to the office. I just handle it because it has to be handled. I had one of the guys say that, oh, you like to micromanage. And of course, this person's not here with us anymore. I said, no, I just like to manage my business. One of my favorite questions says, do I say something before you get ready to tear up somebody's property or a piece of equipment? So do I say something before or after? I said, what do you mean? Should I allow you to continue in your direction where something gets destroyed? Or should I stop you before like I'm doing? Do you call that micromanaging or do you call that managing? Do you blow your horn when you see a guy that's for the back into you because they don't see you back there, or do you just let them run into you? Somebody's looking for a payday, so they might let them run into them and not blow the horn at all. I'm a manager, so I'm going to let you know I'm there so you can pump the brakes and we can avoid the accident altogether.
So it's all about managing the stress.
Absolutely. It's, if a piece of equipment goes down because it's a maintenance issue or it's just time for that particular piece of equipment to break and you just have to get a service and fix, it's one thing. But when something gets broken because of neglect or just not paying attention, it's another thing. And so we try to avoid the self-inflicted wounds, I like to call them. You avoid the self-inflicted wounds, it's less money you have to pay, because at the end of the day, it comes out of our pocket when it's a self-inflicted wound. And then you have to decide if you're going to keep that person that's causing that self-inflicted wound. I love self-inflicted wounds in the beginning because it's a teacher for that person that caused that self-inflicted wound. And when they didn't mean it, because their eyes get big, like, oh, and they get apologetic. Boss, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm like, it's okay. What did you learn from it? I was too close to that branch when I cut it. I said, hey, and then we can move forward. I don't mind fixing that because I just paid for you to learn this lesson, and I don't have to worry about it happening again. On the flip side of that, you have people that they're going to have an accident all the time, and you realize that, and so you have to make a business decision quick, fast, in a hurry, because if you don't make that business decision, that person's going to bring unwanted stress to your life and a financial burden to you.
No, I was saying, when you said financial burden, that's a good segue to the last one, which is that there's a financial risk as a business owner that just happens. You need capital to start. There's inflation that you have to think about, and on both sides. So how can you speak about the financial risk of being a business owner for anyone?
The financial risk is all on how you manage it, and depends what business that you're been in. For the tree business, it's a big financial risk because everything outside of your chainsaws. Chainsaws are expensive too. Sometimes they don't seem like they're that expensive because a $2,000 saw or a $1,500 saw is different from a $50,000 tractor or a $150,000 truck, which we have to carry all of them. And then you're talking about a $150,000 truck, then you got a $350,000 truck. And then if you want to grow even more and take it to the next level, then you start talking about cranes, which they start at $800,000-$900,000. And so we choose to lease crane service when we need it and stay away from a lot of the crane jobs because it's financial. You know, let's just say we went and bought a crane tomorrow and we pay cash $800,000. Well, the insurance by itself on that crane truck is going to probably be $9,000 a month. So you weigh those risks financially and decide, hey, are we doing enough crane jobs to lunge and invest into a crane that's going to add a $8,000 to $9,000 bill versus leasing the service where it doesn't cost you that much. You just do a la carte when you need it. Because I don't know too many people that's going to pay cash for a crane, even if you had it. And if you make a financial payment on that, now you're talking $8,000, $9,000 a month payment on a crane plus the insurance. So now you're sitting at $25,000, $30,000 on one piece of equipment that it'll cost you for that month. So those are the strategic plannings financially that we have to do. And this is why you do our SWOT analysis. And for those of you that don't know what SWOT analysis is, it's an acronym. It stands for SWOT. It stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And if you're thinking about whatever business you're thinking about being in, you need to do a SWOT analysis at least every other year or so on your business, because that's going to help you grow as a business just by doing that SWOT analysis.
Okay, so those are some cons. Let's talk about the pros. Independence, control. That's a pro of being a business owner.
The pro is you get to be your own boss. I don't know if that's special or not, but you get the right to be your own boss. You get to set the times that you work and you don't work, which even though you have that control, if you're serious about running your business, I don't know how much time you think you're going to have off unless you get close to retirement.
Right. It's kind of like they're like, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want to. You're the business owner, but then on the other side, it's like, really, you can't, because you have to get the work done. You have to put the time in.
It's like owning a restaurant. It's like, oh, I get to control my own hours, and I don't have to be there. And this is a particular restaurant. I'm not going to put them on blast. I'm not going to say their name. But this is like the second time in a month I call to order breakfast, and either the cook wasn't there, and the other day it was like, oh, our power's not, we had a power failure. And I just passed the place and I seen the lights on, but it was probably the cook or something didn't show up, or somebody didn't show up on time, so they couldn't take my order for the breakfast. You don't have that luxury, you know. You just take off when you want. That means the customer will get neglected. And so it's a pro that you're your own boss, and it's a con as well, because you have to be available when that work calls, that customer calls. And so, but other benefits is that you do get to control your schedule a little bit. You can be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be off every other Saturday. I remember when I worked, 7 days a week sometimes, and sometimes I still have to, but not as often as the early days. And I don't work because I have to. I work because I want to. I do what I do because I enjoy doing it. So it's almost like it's not work because I enjoy what I do. So it's not a chore. It's not like I have to peel myself out of bed. It's like, oh, man, I got to go to work. I wish I can just stay home and lay in the bed.
I mean, you do sometimes.
Like sometimes you just feel like, oh man, I want to relax, because your body get fatigued and tired, and so you have to get rejuvenated. But I enjoy it for the most part. I enjoy what I do, and it's not a struggle.
Do you think that part of what helps you get out of bed is because you are the business owner?
I think a part of what, yes, I think it is, but most importantly, I think it's more of an opportunity. I get to take care of my family. I get to, I think about the boys, I think about the girls, I think about you, and like, especially on a Saturday, and that's, because you get to take Saturdays off, which is good because you get to spend time with the kids, and you get those extra hours of rest. You get to lay down. I'll look and see. I'm like, man, I just want to lay down next to you, but I understand that Miss Jones or Mr. Smith may be waiting on me because we promised that we would be there that day. So we go and do what needs to get done.
So we talked about financial risks, but then on the other side, there's also financial rewards of being a business owner. As a business owner, you have, I guess, more of a control of and opportunities to make more money than maybe you would if you worked for someone else. Can you talk about that?
Yes. The financial control it comes to management. In my opinion, when running a business, it depends on what your habits are. Some people have more habits than others. Some people have vices that, I'm going to get this because I have it. I'm blessed to have a business partner like you that, and we just don't spend just because we have it. We do more window shopping than anything, knowing that, hey, we can go grab this or buy this if we want it, but we don't. I think we've done well in the aspect of just being able to manage what we have to alleviate debt that we may have, to be able to take the kids to do certain things like Legoland or to the park or to a sporting events, to a game. Just monitor it. I think we take advantage of a lot of free stuff that we don't have to pay for as well too, that's offered in the community. And so I think that relieves a lot of stress, not knowing where the next check is going to come from to pay the mortgage, or how are we going to do this, how are we going to do that. I think, if you look back, 13, 14, 15 years ago, it was a whole different ballgame. It was a whole different story. And it comes to, understanding our where we were at financially at that time, we couldn't do the things that we're able to do today. Because how can we go to the carnival and buy a cheeseburger when we're still waiting to pay the electric bill or something like that? So it's definitely, when you do well in business, it definitely has its pros, because it allows you to pay yourself a moderate salary, not take everything from the business. But I remember we speaking on finances. There was a lot of times that we didn't even take a check. We just, we took what we had to take to pay the bills, the personal bills at home, and that was it.
Right.
There was no abundance. There was no free cash to be like, oh, let's go to Legoland. Like, that wasn't happening, And so there's definitely a difference if you manage well, and then you can pay yourself a nice salary to take care of your personal life, because we always didn't have that luxury.
Right. No, I agree. A lot of people will probably be surprised that a lot of business owners that, in the beginning, you might not be able to pay yourself, so you have to figure out if being a business owner is something that, you would want to do, because it's not for everyone. Obviously, everyone can't be a business owner because there needs to be employees, and that's fine. Everyone doesn't have to be a business owner. So just knowing, doing your research and knowing the pros and cons of, your business in particular, but then also what it means to be. There's, a lot of there's some similarities in just being a business owner that, translates for all different genres. So just knowing that there's pros and cons for being a business owner. In what ways do you think that your faith has influenced the way that you run your business?
In every way. Running the business is because of my faith. It's integrity. It helps me make sound, good decisions, because I acknowledge God in all my ways and what I do. And especially, not a big scene where everybody can see me when I'm up in the bucket getting ready to cut a tree. I'm always praying, because I don't want to cut my fingers off, because tree business is a dangerous, I'm always praying, I don't want to fall out of the bucket. I fell 25 feet before, broke 3 ribs. That wasn't a pleasant feeling. The name of this podcast is 7,000 Volts Living an Electrified Life for a reason, because those scars you see on those fingers right there, that's coming in contact where the electricity arced over to the branch that I had just cut after I had just cleared 40 feet away from the power lines. And so I have to constantly pray, because this is dangerous work. Every 2 to 3 days somebody gets hurt or killed in this industry. That's not a statistic that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of the statistic where I don't get hurt or seriously injured or killed. So not only do I continue to study my craft, but it's my faith that leads and guides me. There's not a day when I fire up a chainsaw where I'm not meditated. Okay, Lord, take care of me, take care of my guys. Lord, take care of me, take care of my guys. It's that attitude of, hey, we're going to be okay. We're all going home to our families today. And it's because of my faith, and it leads and guides me. How has your faith helped influence you how you operate the business, especially when people are always trying to sell you something? You have customers that complain. You have people always coming to the door. How do you handle that? How does your faith help you handle that?
I just continue to trust in God and just know that I'm grateful for every opportunity every day for where we are as a business now. I just try to provide the best customer service that I can. Can you talk about a pivotal moment that helped you grow as a business owner?
Yes, a pivotal moment that helped me grow as a business owner. Well, first, I got electrocuted. 7,000 volts again, here we go. You know, that day, 7/13/07, that was a pivotal moment. I think I said on an earlier podcast, I was good at what I did, but I wasn't great. I wasn't the professional that I am today. And because of that, it helped me think different. It helped me look at things different. It made me take better risks instead of risky risks. Instead of just trimming, like in the beginning after I got electrocuted, when I get a call about trimming trees away from power lines, I was like, you need to call the professionals. In the reality, I didn't know what to do in that moment, but I since learned. I knew that, like, okay, we need to get a 10-foot power clearance from the power company, and it's a free service that they offer. I can tell you how I missed that, because I never even knew, because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't the ultimate pro that I am today. I didn't prepare myself for that moment in time, because I didn't know. When you don't know, you just don't know. And whatever field that you may be in, you have to know those pros, you have to know those cons. And that's something that I didn't know. Another pivotal moment was when we bought this building. It transcended everything that we've done, like from being able to buy things in bulk to house your own fuel tanks. We have 1,500 gallons of fuel that we can house on the property. Before, we're a convoy line at the gas station trying to get these big trucks in to get fuel. And the worst time was when they named the storm, and everybody's trying to buy up the fuel, and you need fuel for your trucks every day to keep up with the demand of the tree work that was coming. And this building changed that. Or we're at 4 different locations for storage-wise with the trucks. Our office was on one side of town, storage units was on the other side of town. So we couldn't operate the way we operate now. Now it's like one-stop shopping. You may have to look for a piece of equipment that's out of place, but you don't have to drive to another location to find it. And the worst part, you would drive to a location to find it, just to find out that that piece of equipment was at the first location. It just got overlooked. So it was playing musical chairs, and we don't have to play those musical chairs anymore. And it's just continuing to work on our craft. You know, we have being a certified arborist requires that you get CEUs every 3 years. So you have to earn a certain amount. The continuing education it's not just for the certified arborist part. It's for our everyday activities. It's everything that we do, everything that we purchase. You have to learn in our business, okay, what piece of equipment, what piece of technology can we use to make our life a lot easier? I heard Mr. Ryan earlier say, hey, I'm old school when he lifted his pad. Or, you know, sometimes it's good to know how to operate old school ways. Sometimes it gets looked over. It gets neglected because everybody wants the latest gadget or gadget or gizmos, or however that's pronounced. And they forget, hey, let me go back to the old school. Let me go back from scratch and see how they did it before they had this new piece of equipment. Yes, the new piece of equipment can help you out tremendously. But what happens if that new piece of equipment breaks or it goes down? Can you get yourself out of that jam? And some people don't know how to get themselves out of a jam because they never learned the meat and potatoes. They just want all the flash and glamour versus, oh, I got the big boy tools versus, okay, it sounds good, but what happens when you're at the end of the job, or the middle of the job, and that piece of equipment goes down? Can you move forward from that?
So how do you envision the future of Tucker Enterprise Services and the legacy that you hope to leave?
Great question. My vision for the tree company as it stands is just to continue to grow it much as possible, continue to have an impact on our community, on the people that comes to work with us, just to continue to grow it. Whether this is something our children wants to pursue, that remains to be seen, but that's not my vision to pass it on to them. I intend to pass on the work ethic that I have, that you have. So I'm not sure. We've been offered a few times to buy the company, and I'm just not in that place. So as long as I still own it, my vision is to continue to grow this business and continue to get better at what I do. I expect to be smarter and more wiser by next year this time than I am today.
What do you hope the children learn from you as a business owner, or what do you hope if they don't, if they choose not to go into the tree care business? What do you hope that they would get from you?
That's a great question, because in our next week's our next episode, we're going to talk about attitude, and I just hope they take on that attitude as a winner, as growth, the attitude, the mentality, whatever the reason why they're here on earth, that they can just take that attitude, hey, this is what I wanted to do, this is my path, and follow their dreams. And I want them to understand that by following their dreams, they have to have the right attitude to do it. And I just want them to do whatever it is that they do or they want to do, and they follow their passion and be good at it, And once you have to be good at something before you can be great at it. And you have to have the right attitude to do so. Thank you, Miss Adele, for being on. We'll have you back soon.
Sure.
It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. My book, 7,000 Volts, is coming soon. You can go to my website, ljtucker.com, for scheduling and more information. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate your time. Have a blessed week. Have a great day.